Hi, Ariane. Welcome. Welcome, Nikita. Welcome, David. Freaky. Mr. Ambitious. Okay, I don't know. Welcome, James. I don't know if y'all see my content. I post it up all the time. It's like this. Anything you see with that logo on it, it's mine. I've created it. And usually there's discussions about it. Welcome, David. Thank you for showing up. Welcome, Miles and Kieran and Erndog. Oh, Vars, good morning. And River, good morning. So, if you're interested in any of the things that I make, my teas, my tinctures, please go to www.creativeliguided.ca. There I have my handmade teas, tinctures. Thank you for the rose. That's sweet. I have teas, tinctures. I have my guided journals, which you can download immediately, so you don't have to wait for them to be shipped. And then I have my story, kind of talking about some of the trauma, how I overcame it in the last probably 10 or 15 years. But it's mostly about reflection, learning how to alchemize that trauma, the who, the what, the where, the how, which is kind of what turned me into doing this idea. So if you kind of want to know what got me to this point, where I came from, any of that stuff, please feel free to go there and check it out. So, and we're going to take at least one moment around 10 after 11. Just for the troops, just for the ones who died, respect the brave men and women that died for us. So I want to do that. Welcome, Fred Kama. Welcome. Okay, so if you've seen anything to do with any of this stuff, I'll show you my other couple. But there's a whole book. These ones, Rage is a Teacher too. I don't know how to make them my background yet, or I would. Welcome, John. But the one we're on now is number 3, which is the fear is as a mirror. Okay, so the best way I can explain it is in the Rage is a Teacher too, we're understanding that when your boundaries have been crossed. No, Grace. Miss Grace, that's not the deal today. You'll go in your room. Right? You remember the 1 hour you have to sit nicely? That's the deal? Or you go to your room. You understand? I'm stopping it right now. You know the boundary. Got it? Okay. Now, sorry guys, but what used to be a day where they went to school and they actually got to learn about Remembrance Day and soldiers that died and all those things, now they don't do that. So now they can just disregard those things in school, which kind of irritates me a little bit because, well, I shouldn't though, truly, because I don't think they tell all the truth anyway. So, welcome, Steve. And anyways, we're going to take a moment to talk about that closer to 11 o'clock. And then my other one, Rage is a Teacher too. So when your boundaries have been crossed and you're not sure kind of how to move forward and why you start feeling shame or anger with yourself, I must not be healing. How can I be this angry and upset? And when we get to that point, we don't know how to understand what we're trying to say. So learning to that point and getting curious and asking those questions is kind of what brought me here, right? And it's the same thing, the rage and then the sacred side of anger. Because once you ask that question, those questions, and you kind of get to the to the answer of why that rage happened, that's when the sacred side of anger kicks in, right? But the next step in that process is understanding how fear can be a mirror, right? How it's just teaching you the things that you, for most of it, you don't even need to be afraid of. You're afraid of because of someone's programming or someone's telling you that you can or cannot do something. So fear shows you where you still care. Fear isn't failure. It's the body asking for safety. Good morning. Miss Grace. You know better. You can come say hi near the end, but you know the boundary, right? You know the boundary? Respond to me or you lose the show. Okay. So last warning. Welcome, Sasa. So, sorry, it's the body asking for safety. My daughter's home today, so what could be about an hour talking points may end up being longer. We have to work with what we got. The worth is flat. Fars, you're even struggling with your own haterade. You gotta do a little better, my friend. Tickle Green, welcome. So loud enough to look it in the eyes. Fear often guards the doorway to what we truly desire. It isn't failure, it's the body asking for safety, reminding us where we all care. When we meet fear with love instead of resistance, we reclaim our power. Look at it in the eyes and say, I hear you, I see you. Thank you for trying to protect me. But I'm going to try anyway. If I fall, I will not die. I will rise stronger, wiser, and braver. Fear doesn't disappear when we move forward. It transforms. That's how courage is born. On the other side of fear lives kindness. The quiet reminder that healing doesn't rush. It softens the journey. Welcome, Helene. All right, so the idea is to look at fear as the idea of where we still care, where we still might hold a little bit of shame or a little bit of fear. And usually it's a fear of being judged, which is really horrible because no one can truly judge you but yourself, but God. But you can't even know what God is judging if you don't understand your own self. So it's got to be you first, always. All right. So, and by the way, if you missed the live or you come in and you want to go back and watch it, or you missed something along the way, just understand that you can go to my YouTube at Creativity Guides Me, and I always upload them, the replays there, usually within about an hour or so after I'm done. So, okay, so fear isn't, instead of pushing it away, try getting curious. Okay, when fear arises, it's not here to stop you, it's here to guide you. So just ask yourself, Chantel Art, welcome. What is this fear trying to protect? And then what truth is hiding underneath it? And what might happen if I let it move through me instead of around me? The only way past fear is through it. And on the other side, it's transmuted into courage. So when we understand that fear was there meant to protect us, and usually it's meant to protect that younger version of us, that idea that we needed someone there to protect us for fear of getting in trouble. It's usually some programming that we got from our parents, from schools. Be quiet, you can't do this, you can't do that. That fear is a protection. You can't say these things or the other kids are going to pick on you. Like, there's a whole long list, thousands of reasons why it becomes a problem. But only if you let it. Sorry, I'm drinking my smoothie. Miss Grace, I'm telling you. You'll lose your cartoons, and then it'll be in your room. We have a boundary, and we have a time limit. And you know what both are? Alright, sorry. So when you get to the other side, it's transmuted into courage. Alright, so I spoke already about Remembrance Day. It's 10:10. Man, time's flying fast already. So it's not about reflection, it's about courage. And then those who came before us faced fear head on. So we want to honor them by learning how to do the same. They showed up no matter what. Fear was just in the background. It didn't matter. They did it scared. And that's what I'm trying. Next one is the corner. Do you understand me? 2 minutes, you will go there. Look at me, in my eyes. You know, don't start trying to cry. You know the boundary. We had the conversation and you know the time limit. So why do you think hollering is going to get you somewhere? Finish your breakfast. Sorry, children push our boundaries too. And they try to make fear another thing. I can't do this because my kids aren't going to allow me because there's always a reason to justify not stepping out and doing it. But when you do it scared, you find a way around it. When you do it again scared, it takes a couple of practices, but eventually you show up and you show up stronger. And that's the most important thing. Welcome, Jay Rockman. Alright, so when we stop fighting fear, it becomes a teacher. It's just trying to keep us safe. But when we listen with curiosity, it shows us where we're ready to grow. Man, when I first started doing this, I would go live and people would come on. Some of those people still come on with hateful comments or just comments trying to distract me. And it used to make me more fearful, right? And it's a form of bullying, but the thing is, the more they did that, the more it actually pushed me to work harder, because if somebody can put that kind of fear into you, then they have some control over you. And when you learn to get to that space and be like, what is it about that? We don't even know this person. So if they're going to say hateful things, who cares, right? Like, when you realize you're so strong in your message and what you believe and what you know, then nobody can shake that. That doesn't mean you won't keep learning and growing. What it means is that your core, your ethics, your morals, your compass is so strong and so understandable that even as you grow and change, that's when things start moving forward for you. Okay? So, fear is our nervous system's way of saying slow down and look here. Protective signal. It's not a punishment. It's just trying to protect you, so you don't risk the shame or the humiliation or the actual physical danger that you perceive. That's usually not actually what it is, right? Welcome, Chili D. How fear shows up in physical sensations: when you overthink, you avoid a situation. It's like when we hit that wound, right? It's like that wound, you're still trying to heal it. You don't quite understand, and it's just beginning to scab over. So when people take a little bit off, welcome. When you try to take that example and you use something moving forward, you can't do that because you get stuck on this point because someone just pokes at that little wound that you're trying to heal. And then it just sends you back into your shell. You're trying to figure out how to overcome that. And the only way to overcome that is to get through it, right? And it can be upsetting, it can be frustrating, but once you get curious and ask what it is that you're so scared of, you can sit with it and say, I think that I don't need that anymore. Maybe when I was younger, I was a little fearful, but I'm not going to allow that to happen anymore, right? So when we stop fighting fear, it becomes a teacher. The mirror reflects what we still need to face or heal. Sometimes it shows us our own strength, sometimes our own avoidance. How pausing to observe instead of reacting reveals the truth, right? So when you take that moment and you say, why am I scared? Why is this causing my nervous system to be dysregulated? Why am I going through all of these emotions and all of these things where I just don't want to deal with it? Is it going to kill me? No. Okay, so that's not the fear. And you break it down until you get to every single one. Is it going to fill me with shame? What shame is there to be when you're just doing what you're meant to do? When you're telling your story or speaking your truth, which usually is when that fear comes. In those moments when that comes over, if you can look at yourself and say, in this moment, I am here now and I am safe. It is safe for me to speak my truth. It is safe for me to step forward with my best foot forward. John Quecky, welcome. So, what is fear trying to protect? And then what truth is hiding underneath it? Because those fears, that protection that it's trying to protect, is usually some trigger or some false fear created, usually from parents, fear of being abandoned. There's a million different ones. But when you get curious and actually begin to understand what it is, that's when you allow yourself the space to grow, to say, no, that's false. That's not even real anymore. Maybe 20 years ago it might have been, but welcome, Sarah. But when you get to that point where it's like, no, it's not real anymore. Back then maybe, but it's not anymore. And then what helps me find that pause before reacting? And that's the most important thing. When we get to the space where we can actually find a place to pause and get curious. We're not judging us. We're not judging anybody else. We're literally just saying, why does that scare me? Why am I so afraid of that? What's going to happen if I fail? If I walk out and absolutely fall on my face, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Am I going to lose my job? Am I going to get punished? Is everyone going to hate me? Like, what is the absolute worst? And if you sit with that and you say, yeah, I don't think that's that bad anymore. Maybe when I was a kid, that was just the most terrifying thing in the world. But now that we're grown, it's like, well, I've already been through that. I've overcome that 100 times over now. So that fear begins to dissipate. And then on the other side of that is courage. And it's like, if I fall, you understand, if I fall, I'm going to learn. Miss Grace, why are you pushing your boundaries today? The next one is your room. Do you understand me? We don't yell like that. You know you're pushing your luck, and you know what's going to happen. It is your last warning. Let it be known. Sorry, I have to fight with children on top of this. It's so much fun. All right, so the only way past fear is through it. And on the other side, it's transmuted into courage, right? The simple form of transmutation is getting curious. And when people don't seem to understand that, when you get from rage to anger, now you're going to fear, right? So you're breaking down and you're getting curious. And it literally becomes the core, right? What created that rage inside me? That was the first one. How did it get there? What did it come about? Usually your anger's there. It's kind of the mid space. It's when you calm down from your rage and you're starting to understand and you're starting to get curious. And then you're asking questions all the way down. Like each one of these is a layer. And when you can take it as such, we're basically starting from the explosion and working our way back, right? So when you get to that fear space and you've already asked those sets of questions and got to what boundaries were crossed, why it did that. And that's what other people did to you. But when you get to the space of now, where's my part, right? And that's where the fear, the accountability, the shame, any of those things really begin to bring that frustration and that fear in people. So, and then we have, we talk about journaling prompts. And I want to be very clear, when we're journaling, we're not... journaling can be the most cathartic thing in the world, but when we're frustrated or in those moments, sometimes we can't get it all down fast enough, right? So you're like, I have all this to say, and then when you try to write it or type it down, you don't get it done. Miss Grace, you can't get it done. Your brain goes so much faster than anything that you could ever possibly begin to write out, and then you lose it. You lose it all in the time it takes to try and write it down. El Diablo, welcome. So what I'm trying to say is when, in those moments when you're really trying to get down and you're trying to break it down and understand it, all you do is go to the journal or a voice note or something, and you say what you got to say. Just get it out, spew it out, and then when you have time and the ability, then you kind of go through it and you start writing. And when you start writing, you go over your voice notes or your Google Notes or whatever you want to call it, and you start reading it and start understanding, and that's where you get to ask your questions. And that's also, you can look at those spaces where you're angry, where that shows up. You can see the anger. Why was I so angry about that? And then that's when those questions get answered. And that's when you can actually start answering the questions and understand where that fear comes from. Mari Elias, welcome. All right, so some of the journaling prompts, I guess I would say, once you get the initial section down, right? Once you get the initial anger, fear, all of that out, just ask yourself these questions, and then still use the voice note, and then write when you feel it. But sometimes just having that voice note to get it all out in that moment will give you that much more to reflect on. That's kind of how I wrote some of my journals and some of my other things. Was going back to reflect on my response to that in that moment, and then I can take myself back there. That's how I work. Maybe it doesn't work for everybody, but it's definitely worth a try. Welcome, Bintu. So if you can't write it right now, record yourself. Speak your truth out loud. Some of these journal ideas are, where does fear show up most in my life? Is it when I'm in confrontation, when I have to stand up and create a boundary? Is it when I step out to do something new? Is it when I'm trying to build something for myself that I know it's something that I care about for myself? Like, what is it? And where does it mostly show up? Because when we can first break that down, then we can start digging and asking those questions. But until we understand like what exactly it is and when it's happening, it's harder to break down and understand. So it's about you getting curious and you asking yourself. No judgment at all. It's just ask. There's going to be 1,000 questions, and the more you ask and you listen for the answer, the better off you're ever going to be. So what might it be trying to teach me? The fact of where it shows up, how it shows up. There's a trend, a category, or something that's making it. So when you can dig deep and focus on that, then you can start peeling that back. Or sometimes you just have to sit with it and even ask, why do I feel this way? Why does this create a fear? Why is this something that brings up that fear inside me, right? And then what would courage look like in this exact moment? So if I wasn't full of fear and holding myself back, what would the opposite of that be, right? What would the courage be? So if I was not scared and fear wouldn't stop me, what is the action I would be doing? And then now you know that that's your goal, right? That is your actual move ahead goal, and we're going to start doing that as slowly as possible. You can move as slow or as fast as you want, but the idea is to be making a step in that direction. So if you're scared of public speaking, then the idea is to start finding ways to do public speaking. Coming on here, doing lives. Welcome. Is that an A? Sorry, I can't read that. I'm blind. But welcome. It's just about taking those steps and making steps to just do a little bit better and show up with intention, whatever it is trying to do the things that scare you, right? And then, sorry, I'm trying to get my things out. I'm going to pull a couple cards. It's only 10:24, so we did really well. Trying to get it out. Tomorrow is going to be, not tomorrow, pardon me, but that's when, Lulu and Jen, welcome. That's when it will start. This is going to be the next one, and that's the kindness that breaks you open. So that will start tomorrow. But that's the part, and that's the kindness to ourselves, and ourselves first. But I think as we're learning to be kind to ourselves, it is a little emotional, but it's because we just got through that fear band, right? And when you're there, it's a little bit of a struggle, and it's hard to understand. So what I always like to do when I do these is ask Spirit for a little bit of guidance and pull a couple cards specifically on these things with usually these questions in mind. What lesson the mirror of fear is showing, and then what action steps help us move from fear to courage, and what energy supports forward movement. So when I ask kind of those ideas on that, you'll see that there always tends to be a theme, and it's something that actually helps us move ahead forward. KS97, welcome. I'm going to try not to pull out too many at a time because my desk is only so big. Welcome, user. So, I'm going to start with my gratitude and my self-care cards because at the end of the day, if we show up in any way, shape, or form with these in mind for ourselves, we're definitely going to end up getting to the bottom, the core issue, and that, my friend, is called shadow work. And that's how we learn to transmute. And when we understand this simple thing, a lot of people fight it. I know I fought it for a long time, so there's never a judgment. But when we get to that space where it's just about getting curious and asking, just like a little kid, no matter how you look at it, why, where, what, when, right? Like, that's what we did as kids. We used to drive our parents nuts. Why? They'd be like, kid, do you ever stop? And that was a whole nother thing, because that actually became a space of fear for a lot of people, because they were used to getting in trouble or getting yelled at when they said why. So it could be stupid little programs like that from our childhood that we don't even understand. But we don't know how to get there if we can't ask why, right? Welcome, user 3709. So I'm going to pull one or two gratitude cards. And these are going to be to help us stay focused, help us find a way to be thankful, and in being thankful, ask for the ways that show us how to show up better for ourselves, right? In turn, we're going to catch that fear and we're going to move it forward into something else. Let's 3 dropped out right away. They're not playing around. So we have self-compassion is simply giving the same kindness to ourselves that we would others. Literally, that's it. What would you do if you saw this scared kid running? Are you going to stop and try to help them, or are you going to ignore them? Chances are you're going to be like, are you okay? You know, and if you can do something to help them, you're probably going to do that. Welcome, empty one. So then it says, reach out to a loved one you trust for advice. So when you're asking somebody, why is this bringing up fear in me? Sometimes they can say, do you remember when this happened as a kid? Sometimes they actually have the actual answer. So when you get curious and you ask, and you have people in your life that you might trust, definitely don't be afraid to reach out to them. And then we have the universe wove you from a constellation just so. Every atom, every fiber in you comes from a different star. Reconnect with the creative influence you have been drawn to throughout your life and how they've affected you, the person you become. So in those moments, the way to kind of step out of that fear and do something different is to get creative, which I promote all the time. It's literally kind of all I talk about, because it doesn't have to be, I love doing renovations. I used to like doing drywall and stuff, like the finished product when it was painted and completely, it looked so nice. Doing flooring, I used to love doing that, making pictures, I make teas, I make tinctures. When I tell you, if I'm not making it with my hands, I'm not happy. Even the things when I write or I journal, and I create my journals and the things that I make on my website, I have them as PDF, so you can buy them like now. But I also am like, man, I want to make it so I can sell the actual, like I can coil the book. Like everything I do, I want to make it. That's a me thing, so I'm setting that expectation for anyone. But if that's something that you love to do, getting to that space where you can do it, not only is it empowering, which in turn just kicks the crap out of fear. When you're empowered, there's no room for fear. So when we do those kind of things and we show up for ourselves, it empowers us. Like, oh, what's the worst that can happen? I can fix anything. Miss Grace, you're pushing it today. You're on your last lap. Do you understand me? Next one is the room. Oh, she's pushing it today. That's okay. No, don't say aw, because you know the boundary. I'm not going to have this conversation over and over. You know the boundary. distracting me while I'm working. You had to sit for 1 hour. You haven't even made it for 20 minutes yet. And I've had to give you trouble how many times? It's not okay. Next one is your bedroom. Kids are usually in school, but apparently they changed that and now kids stay home for Remembrance Day, which is really odd. Welcome, Andrew W. So take time off. The world will not fall apart without you. When you're figuring this stuff out, don't be afraid to rest. And don't be afraid, because there's going to be tears. It's going to be gross. There's always, you're going to have to sit with yourself, hug yourself, understand. You got to show up for yourself. You got to basically reparent yourself. And you got to show up for that inner child in a way that nobody else ever showed up for them. That's the only way you're ever going to move yourself forward, right? So, dedicate a day in the future to self-care. Plan a trip to see a new movie or a day at home reading your favorite book. Whatever activity will leave you feeling relaxed and refreshed. And it's about scheduling it and showing up. It's got nothing to do with what the actual activity is. It's about scheduling it for yourself and saying, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do it. And then actually doing it. Because when you start showing up for yourself, you're empowering yourself once again. So even if you don't do it on purpose, when you intentionally show up for yourself, you're kicking the crap out of fear. You're not giving it a space to live anymore because you're showing up for yourself. And now you're teaching your inner child, that one that's scared, the one that's trying to protect you, and the one that creates most of the stop at moments, it's just trying to protect you, right? So, but when you show up for yourself, you're showing that child, no, I'm going to show up for you. I'm going to be that parent that never was. And I promise we're okay and we're safe. Welcome, Milo. And when we get to that space, that's when we become more empowered, right? You show up for yourself, then you begin to trust yourself. Then you begin to trust what you think. And you're actively retraining your brain every single time you show up that there's nothing to be scared of. And that's transmutation, by the way. Just the act of doing that is actual literal transmutation. And if you want to go a little bit farther than that, then it's being grateful for that, showing up, and knowing that everything you move towards is moving you towards that goal you have, right? So... And then almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. Welcome, Buzzlight. Take some time to unplug today. Turn off your phone, shut down your computer, and reflect on your energy level. How do you feel? Do you need to prioritize yourself more today? And I'm going to tell you, I've started to give myself that limit, and it's made a huge difference. When my daughter's in school, I go hard. I do all of the work that I have to do, and I try to get it done. Sometimes I will work maybe 1 hour after she comes home from school. I'll give myself one solid hour of work, and then because they get home at 2, right? And then after that, I'm done. I'm not working. I turn off everything, and I focus on her, getting dinner, spending time, having fun together. And in doing that, I've noticed a huge difference in the way I move forward, the way I look at everything, the way my filter is, and how much I enjoy it. How much those moments of, I don't have to worry about any of this. It's time for me and my daughter. And then still working on actual personal free time. I try to do a little bit when she's in school, but usually I'm mostly working. My self-care time has to be done in between a child because that's the joy of being a single mom. But it's okay because it has its wins, and you really get to get creative about having your own peace time. So, Miss Grace, come here.
What?
I love you. I love you so much. But what I need you to do is sit down and not be crazy. I have a half hour left. You can't sit on me, but give me a kiss.
Can I eat something?
What do you mean, eat something? You just had breakfast. Yes, you can eat that.
I can open that.
Sorry, it's frustrating, I know, but she's 7, and she has some learning struggles, and she's home because it's a PD day, and so we do what we do. I'm not going to change my schedule for things that are important, and she's learning how to work around them, as am I, and that's all we can do. So we learn as we go, and I'm not going to feel shame or fear about that. So welcome, the Hermit. All right, can I have a self-care card? Ways we can show up for ourselves. Miss Grace, that's going to be what gets you in trouble. You asked to eat it. What did you ask for? We're not going to do that, right? Because I'm working. You, Miss Grace, you'll go to your room. Please stop. I don't want to be the bad guy, but you know I will. Do you understand me? Little kid. I would kick her butt. Oh, Francine, welcome. All right, so forget injuries and never forget kindnesses. This is something that's going to be really important as part of the transmutation process. There's going to be enough hurt in this world that if we let that pile on and we don't find a way to release it, understand it, and let it go, that it could truly hinder us. It's going to create blocks every step of the way until we heal it. So when it says forget injuries, it's saying know that they happened, respect the fact that they happened, be accountable for your end always, no matter what happens, and then understand that's where the accountability lies, right? The rest of it that you're not accountable for, you don't have any control of, so we don't deal with that. Welcome, Cleek. So think about recent kindnesses you've experienced and how they have shifted your outlook. What are some ways you can be kind to others around you today? So what it's saying is when you show up for yourself with that kindness, you're going to naturally show up for others in the same way. And that's really, really important. Because when you show up with that same kindness for yourself, then you don't allow fear to have a space, right? You know that no matter what, even if you fall right on your face on the middle of the stage, you know where to go back to your safe space, and you know how to understand that you are safe here, you are safe now, and everything is okay. Welcome, user. A couple of people came in. I went to say it, but I was still talking. But welcome if you're just showing up. If I miss your name, I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to read and get my message out at the same time. So, welcome, user 5587. Okay. Welcome back, David Fruki. What is that from, Fruki? It's one of the, that name is one of the cartoons Grace, my daughter watches. Fruki. Griselda. Oh my lord, what's the name of that show? True. The name is True. I knew if I thought hard enough, I would figure it out. That's kind of funny. Alright, can I have, a Beyond the Mirror, that's the one, eh? Root Chakra, yes. I kind of should have known. Victoria, welcome. That's number 2. I'll put one more after this, but okay. The root chakra, ground and center. This is how we deal with fear. This is how we bring ourselves back to truth. Look at the artwork on these. I just love these cards so much. This is how we ground and center. This is our foundations, grounding, basic needs, survival, physical identity, responsibilities, the place where we build our lives, and then time and nature. Time and nature can heal so many things, just that alone. It's beyond. This image speaks of finding home within yourself, a sense of deep inner peace, and a strong sense of grounding and being centered. Here you can be released from the grips of survival into a place of thriving. Welcome, Joanne. There's connection to community, and you can rely on others and joyfully understand your responsibilities in turn. You are held and have strong foundations for all aspects of life. With your guard down, you have the tools to ride the waves if you need. Everything is okay. Spend time in nature. Sit or stand barefoot in nature and feel your roots merging with the earth beneath you. Consider your founding beliefs. If they no longer serve you, it may be time to reconsider your priorities or the foundations you live your life by. Be aware of any recurring patterns that may be holding you back. So this is your root chakra, right? And basically it's telling you that anytime when you're in that state of fear, it's telling you how to ground, how to bring it back to center, and how to understand that's your sweet space. And from that moment, when you can understand right here in that moment, in this moment, I am here now and I am safe. Everything is okay, and everything is going to work out for my highest best good, no matter how it ends. When you get to that space, and you can come back to that space each time, fear doesn't stand much of a chance. You know, even if you're shaking and you're stepping out scared, you know at the end it's just going to empower you. Even if you're not 100% perfect, it's not going to matter. You did it. You showed up, and in turn, you empower yourself to do better next time, right? How could I fix it? And we're not criticizing each other. How can I do a little bit better next time? How can I show up and be more intentional? And I survived that, so the next time definitely ain't gonna kill me, right? And that's kind of how we have to move through our life. Welcome, Tina. Let me have one more, because you know I like the chakra cards, but you have some really good ones on grounding, and I really do want to have one. That's the one, yeah. You were hanging out freedom. I knew there had to be one more in there. And this is a good one, actually. Because freedom is about accountability, too. It's not just about, we're all free, we can do what we want. Yeah, you can. But if you don't come from there from a grounded space, you're going to create more fear and more things that you don't need to do. So we have to heal those things first. All right. Freedom means living as you choose, with your wings and heart open, able to direct your reality as you want. The quest for freedom, in one form or another, seems innate. In Western culture, the path to freedom is often equated with money. Ironically, chasing wealth can have the opposite effect due to the lengths taken for it to be acquired. It is possible to weave a life in thriving alignment with our soul's calling while financially supporting our realities. You may picture freedom in its more extreme guises, but when we truly feel free, our lifestyles may not change drastically. It's more of a state of mind. The only change that you are choosing to live a certain way, rather than feeling obligated. We may move through periods of life in a dazed blur of routine. What seemed like a dream career or lifestyle may have become somewhat of a prison. We may feel stuck, blocked, or uninspired. We might know deep down that it's time to step into something different, but feel tied to what we have set up for ourselves, perhaps financially or because others depend on us. It may feel like something needs to change externally before you can make the step, but it usually doesn't work that way. As scary as it may seem, to get off a self-perpetuating spiral, we need to initiate our own change. Small changes that don't impinge on your work or family can be enough to tell the universe you are ready for something else. Think about where you might find inspiration, then begin researching and try it out. Try a few new things. This will help shift the direction of your inner being. Before you know it, opportunities will start to open for you, and it will then be your choice to follow a new path or continue as you are. Letting go, trusting, and loving without limitation are also a big part of internal freedom. There are lots of ideas about what freedom can be. Having a framework for what it can be means even more freedom can flourish. Complete freedom can also be overwhelming, confusing, or ungrounding. Structure and security are friends of freedom. They support fun, safety, expansion, sustainability, and exciting possibility. Welcome, Jay. That's wonderful. Go. Bring a deeper sense of freedom to a situation. A limitation may be a state of mind. A shift of perspective can help bring a sense of lightness and choice. Also consider what freedom looks like to you in the bigger picture of your life. If you are feeling stifled in an environment, it's up to you to make a change. Add pleasurable moments or practices that cultivate a sense of greater freedom in your day-to-day life. If you are currently experiencing greater freedom, you may be feeling unsettled. Consider what it is the kind you were looking for, like which one you want, if you want more freedom or if you need more structure. If you feel ungrounded and lost, perhaps you could add some structure to your world to optimize your freedom. Again, it's balance, right? So every which way we step forward, every which way we ground ourselves, all of the things we do, if we're feeling like we can't get this done because we have too much to do, too many decisions, and that actually can happen. I know when I'm trying to focus on things, especially when I'm trying not to be scared about it, I need to be empowered, I need to be focused, and I need to just do it, right? And it's really sometimes hard to do that when you let that fear pile on, and then you get disorganized and you can't get it together. And that's why even I don't know how other people do it. I have it on my computer too. Hi, Espoos, how are you? So, and welcome, Pam. Is that an owl? Oh, I thought it was an owl. But when I do these, if you notice, this is just an example. I'm just going to show you. So when I do it, I kind of figure out, I set it up, I get my talking points, I jot notes, and I go through that whole process. And as I'm doing that, then I create a list of talking points, and not an actual script, but just the things that I want to make sure that I hit during the lives, and get curious, because it's about asking questions. That's wonderful. So, like, the questions we got to focus on. I'm really good. How are you? The things we have to focus on, the things to help move forward, and the things to transition us to the next step. So when I do that, when I first started, I had all of these things in my brain. Like, when I was healing, I didn't have a guided thing. I had to figure it out on my own and flip forward, go back, go here, go there, go there. And it was definitely not linear. And not saying that healing is ever going to be linear, but it was definitely disorganized. And one tiny, like a million steps. It took me so many, 1 here, 10 back, 1 here, over there, 10 to the side, 3 back, 2 forward, right? That's how healing was for me. So my guided journals on my website, you can download them. I tried to take those lessons, those questions, those getting curious, I tried to take them and create them in a more organized fashion to make it able, so if you were willing to commit those days, even just 10 minutes a day, just getting curious and ask yourself questions, the amount of healing and the amount of empowerment that you feel at the end is just phenomenal. I know I actually did the work. Welcome, Melody. I did the work 10 times over and back and forth, and each time I had to do another level. That's what happened, right? I had to go back. So if you want to check them out, you can go check them out here at creativelyguided.ca. This is my logo, so when you see that content popping up, that's my healing content. There's going to be all kinds, and I do it in all bite-sized pieces. So that's what, right now we're at the stage of fear. Fear is the mirror, and that's the thing that we're trying to teach, right? Welcome, Bobby Lynn. So on the other side of the fear is kindness, and that's the next thing that we're going to talk about tomorrow. Not tomorrow, pardon me, in 3 days. But you'll start seeing the content for it tomorrow. The reminder that healing doesn't rush, right? It's a journey, it's a space, and when we try to rush it, we're going to miss out the lessons, and we're going to have to take 10 steps back and relearn. So in those moments, sit with it and love yourself through it, and just get curious. And why is this hindering me? Why is this a struggle? Why is this making me angry? Grace, it's not time for your opinion right now. You can come give your opinion at the end. Welcome, user. But you gotta wait till the end. So when we stop fighting fear, it becomes a teacher, right? It's the bottom line. It's the mirror, and it's reflecting back to you what you need to learn, what we need to face, what we need to heal. And when we come from that space, that's when we allow ourselves to do some of our best work. And when we take that time and we observe it, we allow ourselves to understand the truth, right? So can I have a creativity oracle? That was really quick. happy accident. I like that. Okay. But we're going to... Betty Richardson. Okay, give me a couple. Let's do a few, because these are quick ones. I want to pull a few and not just one. Give me something to help them focus on, to understand the things that they can do to move forward and use in their fear, turn it into a lesson of moving forward. Communication. Yeah, I kind of figured. Okay. So we have happy accident, communication, and delay. And then so that's 31, 61, and 62. Welcome, Barbara. Was it 31? Bear with me, I can't count today. Okay, so we have the clarity, interactivity, and the timing of communications is critical. The communication card is an indication that how well or how poorly we communicate our vision to those with whom we wish to share it is the key to understanding the situation in question. Communicating with the other person creatively requires that we present to them what we wish to be communicated in a way that they best understand and respond. They can best understand and respond to. This requires us to see them as they really are and tailor our communications to their needs and ability to understand. Sometimes this card can mean that other people are not communicating well with you. This needs to be remedied. Communication is the very soul of creativity. It can burst the seemingly impervious bubble that often exists around even the most creative projects, conceived and executed without the thought of or interaction with other people. And it's true. So when, for example, when we're communicating things like when I come here for these are question and answer, right? So these are digging a little deeper. These are asking questions. So when people come and they're afraid to not interact or not ask questions, they miss out on the answers because these are the times when it's getting curious. So right now I'm asking Spirit and I'm pulling cards to help give suggestions. But the idea is in those moments and those things that you want to understand, when you ask those questions, I can help answer them with, I can't give you the answer, but I can give you suggestions on how to find the answers and help you understand and empower you to understand how much easier it is for you to do it for yourself, right? Because when you understand that and you can communicate that with yourself, you can communicate it with everybody else. Welcome, good boy, and see Lucky. Okay, so this one's a happy accident. The happy accident card is an indication that the solution to your current situation will arise spontaneously through an event that will first be seen as some kind of mistake or failure. Again, when you treat everything that you're scared of as a happy accident, even if you fail, it's just going to teach you how to be more empowered. And when you can turn it into that, I don't do pregnancy stuff. I mean, I can ask the cards if you give me, let me finish this and I will ask if you're still here. But I'm going to tell you something right now, honey. If you put that much pressure on yourself, you're pushing it away. Right now, you have to love yourself. You have to go through, miscarriages are very hard. They're so hard, and I know that because I've been through them, so I'm not just saying it off the top of my head. I've been there. Trauma is hard, and especially when you have your heart set on something, especially something as amazing as a child, it can be extremely traumatic. But stop rushing to do it. Give yourself that time to heal, because if you keep forcing it, or trying to push yourself into it, you're setting yourself up for a failure that you don't deserve to be set up for. If your body's always fighting for something and it's struggling for something, it's going to do the exact opposite. It's like when you're trying to lose that 5 pounds and you can't do that 5 pounds because you're so worried about it, and then you think you're doing everything right, but you're just beating yourself up. The stress of it is actually going to do the opposite. Right now, You need extra mama love. You need to have those extra baths and that little time for yourself, and doing everything you can for self-care, so that when you are ready, you're not putting that pressure on you, you're not putting that pressure on your husband, and you're not putting that pressure on that baby. Did you know that your babies choose you? They choose you. When they sign that contract up in the, I say up in the sky, but it's not up in the sky. But when they sign that contract with God and they create those soul contracts, they choose you. They know you're going to give them the amount of love that they could possibly ever handle. But you can't do that until you do that for you. Good. I'm really glad. Truly, I'm glad. I can't even begin to tell you how glad I am. It took me 42 years to even, 43 years to, 42 years to understand, 43 years by the time I started learning to do it for myself. So I've had a lot of struggles along the way. But when I understood that what people thought about me wasn't going to matter until what I knew what I thought about me, and that pressure and that shame and that guilt and that fear, all those things can come in and they will just keep you locked in a cell that you don't need. I think that you're going to be just fine, but don't put a time on it. Trust in God. Trust in the universe. And I say God, but you believe what you believe. And it's not, religion is not something, sorry, I have to do a stupid puzzle thing or it kicks me out. Religion is, I believe, it's made to separate people. It's because if you don't even know your own voice, how do you know God? How do you know anybody, right? And anything man-made, whether it be cars, whether it be the Bible, whether it be any form of divination, if it's written by man, it's fallible, right? It's not perfect. So the universe is perfect. You want your answers, look into the universe. But truly, don't put a time on it, because you're just going to set yourself up for failure, and I don't want to see that happen. Trust in God, trust in the universe, and say, I'm giving it to you, and I know you probably have dreams. This is my own thing, so if I'm wrong, by all means, tell me. But I feel like you have those conversations with your child already. Welcome, community outreach. Welcome, it's nice to see you. You already have those conversations with your kid. Like, you already know that it's coming. You're preparing for all of the wonderful things, and that's good. That's good. Those conversations, those dreams, those things that you're having that say, oh, I want this so bad. Flip that. Take it, because you're seeing it. You're seeing it already in your future. You're seeing that thing, and God has promised it to you. Okay? It's promised to you, but you can't push it away. And the best way I can explain it is take everything that you know and everything you love and those conversations and those dreams that you're having, take that and flip it. You're going to talk to that baby just as if you're talking to them like you're talking to me. You're going to prepare, and you're going to do all of the things, and you're going to just know it's going to happen. We're going to be delusional here, right? Because you're not. You're having those conversations, you're having those dreams, those things that hit you just deep in your soul when you know, those times when you grab your belly because you already know what it feels like to be there, to be going through it. Those things are preparing you. And if you take that and you can reframe that and get that out of a lack, like you're missing out, and understand that it was preparing you for what's coming, right? Losing a baby doesn't mean it's never going to come back. It's just setting up for a better position. It's setting up for when you're ready and when everything's good. And what happens is sometimes in those situations when you're so scared of it, then you come and you overdo it, and you overdo this, and you overthink this, and you overthink that, and you drive yourself crazy. And it can create such a mental struggle and such a hindrance. And that's not what it's meant to be for. It's meant to be beautiful. I'm going to tell you a secret, okay? I had 3 children. All 3 of those children, I had a couple of miscarriages too, so I would have had more children. But all 3 of those children were abusive, and I mean severely abusive relationships. The children are amazing, the most amazing kids I ever had. I couldn't ask for better. but the pregnancy itself, the situation, the person that I had them with, were severely abusive. They were mentally and physically abusive. I never got to enjoy one moment of any of my pregnancies, sadly, because I was living in trauma. Those things, when you get that fear, and that's my case was extreme. So I need you to understand that the extremes could be so severely different, but the trauma and the fear and the anxiety and all those still remain the same. Like your mind doesn't know the difference between this fear and that fear. Fear is fear, and that's it. And that's why when I'm doing these discussions and having these things, I'm trying to focus on what it is and how to break down to get to that one fear. What is creating that? Grace? No. You play that in your room, please. That's not nice. So we want to focus on that. Haley, I don't know if you're still here or not, but if you are, you're being delusional in a good way, in the best possible way. Love yourself through every little bit of it, and right. So if you're with the perfect man, then don't rush it. Right now, take that time and enjoy the you. Enjoy the way he treats you so good. Enjoy the spoiling and the getting to be the best of friends and all of the great things that come with that love that you so much deserve, right? Please do that. And I promise you, when it's time, it's going to come. Don't put pressure on it. Don't put pressure on him. When you're being together, be together because you love to be together. Spend that time. Do those vacations. Do those things that you can do. Because when children come, it is, I don't want to say it's a struggle because it's not. It's the most amazing thing you could ever have. But it gets harder. Funds get tighter. Things happen. The cycle of life, it is what it is. So take this time to spend it with that man and love that man and just become the most best friends that you could possibly be. Love yourself. Really honor that baby. Honor the baby that you lost. And don't rush a new one. You're not trying to replace it. You're going to still honor it and respect it and love it. And you never know. It's going to come back to you. And if you're hearing those conversations in your sleep, I promise you, when you go to sleep, ask that question. And you're going to feel that hug in the middle of the night. You're going to feel it while you sleep. And that's going to be your baby saying, I'm okay. I'm okay, Mom. I love you. Okay? Don't be sad. It's coming. Wait, don't rush it. I promise. Don't rush it. You're going to make me cry. All right. So look at everything. I know you do. I know. I feel it. You see me? I'm trying not to tear up. So it's okay. That's your heart, and you're allowed to feel that. But you got to feel through that before you can move to the next one. Don't make me cry, girl. Okay. We're going to look at everything that we possibly can as a happy accident. I've been there, I promise you. I have stories that could just break a soul, and I don't like to trauma dump, but when I tell you I understand every end of the spectrum, I do. These gifts from the muses can be recognized for the blessings that they are only if you are able to not be distracted by what appears to be an error or mission or other annoyance. Instead, see the mirror irritations as signposts indicating a happy accident may be found right alongside them. Recognizing happy accidents is the clearest sign that you're an artist. Cultivate this ability because it requires that you refrain from harsh judgments and knee-jerk, unconscious reactions when apparent mistakes or failures are identified. Staying calm when facing what can easily be seen to be avoidable mistakes is the mark of the master magic maker. You know, when we learn to show up for ourselves, for all of the things we've been through, it so naturally comes to be caring to other people. Like, you know the things you've been through. You're not going to look at somebody you see struggling and say, oh, well, they're shitty. They must have deserved it. Oh, that's never even going to come to your brain. It's not going to come to your brain because you've been there. You've been there. You felt it. You understand the shame, the fear, the trauma, all of the things that come along with it. and the shame and the fear that a person can take on and the things that it can do. Once you know and understand how deeply that can affect someone, you can't hate anybody. You can't be like, you can't wish that on somebody. You can't look at somebody and be like, oh, they're hurting, so screw them, who cares, it's not my problem. People that feel like that, they feel that way because they've overcome it. And that's a story that needs to be told. That's a story that needs to be shared, because there's always somebody, you know, who shows up and that just might need that little bit of words, that little bit of something that you actually know about, that you've been through. You can't give all the answers, but when just knowing somebody else has been through it, and knowing that there's a million different things that go through your head. It's not just one thing, it's a million different things. And when you're trying to figure out what it is, the only way to do it is get curious, right? Welcome, Gypsy, welcome. And delay. Take time. Confront the natural... I love that I just looked down and that's what it is. Confront the natural tendency to delay the finishing of a creative endeavor. It doesn't matter what we do. It doesn't matter what's going on. Don't rush it. Don't ever rush perfection. Perfection comes and is molded. When I was younger, I'm still impatient. I'm not going to lie. I've learned and I've grown and I've become much more patient. But when I was younger, I was like, I'm going to do this and this and this and this. And I would, when I tell you headstrong, I just dove into it. Sometimes it felt like I was diving to my death. And I've had my ass handed to me more times than I can count from trying, and failing, and getting kicked while I was down, and all the other things. But at the end of the day, I still did it, and I showed up, and I learned to look at the other side of that. Welcome, Tarla. I beat myself up for so long because I just picked up that torch that everybody else had been holding against me, right? And I'm like, well, they think that. I must just be horrible, and I must just be evil, and I must know nothing. And it wasn't until I actually decided that there's no way on this planet that I could be worthless. There's no way in this planet that I survived all of the things that I survived, that I learned the lessons that I learned, and I could still be worthless. There's just no way. And when you look at somebody and they have a story, any story, of something they've overcome, and every single human being on this planet has something. You can't convince me otherwise. When you find that and you understand that about yourself, you just want to hear other people's stories, and you want to understand them, and you want to help them understand them. Because when you do that, you're teaching them how to overcome and how to actually understand that we're so much the opposite of worthless. We're so amazing. We overcome things every single day. It's like a mountain we climb every single day, and we sit at the top at the end of the day, and we're like, where did we do amazing? Where did we kind of struggle? Why am I still hindered? Dude, you are at the top of the mountain. You climbed it every single day. There's no hindrance. You like slayed it, and you're still doing it every day. You show up, and every day you show up with a little bit more love. The miracles are coming. I don't think you understand. I sit there with all of my struggles, with all of my worries, and all the things I got going on, and all I care about is helping other people, because I'm filling my cup first. Welcome, Alex. Welcome. And in those moments, they come slowly, but I asked for that. I asked for that because I know patience is probably my worst virtue. I do the best I can, but when I tell you I want it I want it yesterday. Like, it is what it is. And maybe that's the entitlement. Maybe that's the thing we kind of grown to, but that's just who I am. And I've had to learn patience. But also, when you've been told your whole life you can't do it, you're never going to do this, you're never going to do that, you're never going to accomplish nothing, man, the defiance that comes up in you when you realize, wait a minute, they've been lying to me this whole time? Wait, I'm not worthless? Wait, I have knowledge that can help other people? What the hell? When that realization comes over you, and it takes time, you got to sit in that delay for a moment. You got to get curious. And it's a never-ending thing, because there's always going to be triggers, but when you understand that trigger and find that fear, that's when we understand. It's actually 11:10, so I want to take 1 minute before I do this. I know I kind of get distracted and all over the place, but I really wanted to make sure that you heard and saw and understood that I was talking to just you in that moment, because when we worry about those things and we create that space for ourselves and we create this expectation on ourselves, we beat ourselves up. We're fucking professionals at it. We have learned from the best and we beat ourselves up. And I want you to understand that that is the last thing that I need you to do. I want you to love yourself and take that time and just sit in that moment and understand how special you are. It's 11:11 on the clock, which is confirmation. I was supposed to do stop now, but I want to take 1 minute. Just 1 minute, okay? It's not just about reflection, it's about courage. Those who came before us faced it head on, and I want to honor them by learning how to do the same. And I want to take that moment. Those people that died for us, okay? Whether you believe in war, whether you agree with it, disagree with it, none of that matters. Those people that fought for us, they fought for our freedoms. They died in senseless things, trying to do the right thing, and they did it scared. So I just want to take 1 minute and show a little respect and love for them, those that died, those that survived, those that still struggle every single day, the families that had to give up their children, they had to lose them at war. For all sides of the coin, I just want to take a moment for that, okay? A moment of silence.
Mom, it's something strange.
Come here. We want to say one moment, and we want to say thank you to the soldiers.
Thank you, soldiers.
I know you don't understand. What?
Do we want to love kitties or not love them?
A moment of silence, okay?
I just want to get mommy.
Okay. No, I'm almost done. Okay, sorry. Moments of silence are very hard in this household. We try. That's why meditation isn't my forte. I find other ways, cleaning, through movement, through ways that I can turn my brain off. So I just needed to have that moment to honor those who did it scared. Those who showed up knowing that, like, our fear is different. Our fear, we're not going to die, right? Our fear, it might make us not feel good. We might feel bad if we think we failed or whatever, but we're not going to die. They went in with fear knowing they very well could die, and many did. So that respect just needs to be needed to be said. Carly, welcome. So we have delay. Confront the natural tendency to delay the finishing of a creative endeavor. The delay card is an indication that problems associated with the matter in question are the result of an inability to understand the cause, the remedy, or how to handle unexpected slowdowns. Selecting the delay card can also be a reminder that just as it is vital to overcome the inertia preventing your creative endeavor from getting started, it is also crucial to avoid delaying finishing it up. Ending something can be difficult, especially if you've been working on it for a long time or do not have another project in mind to take its place. Delays in the completion of a thing are often caused by apprehension about the inevitable passing of judgment on whatever is said to be completed. Delaying completion or avoiding tying up loose ends can all too often add an unexpected and usually undesired piece to a project, even those that are not considered time sensitive. And I'm going to take that one little bit further, because procrastination is, yes, ADHD, all those things, it is that, but it's also, it's a fear thing, it's a protection, a coping mechanism, right? So, we put things off to the last minute, out of fear, we put it off to the last minute, and then we're left rushing. But because we've thrived in chaos our whole life, That's the only way we know how to understand it. So when we're doing that, because that fear is actually sometimes a motivator too. I'm not going to get it done in time. I'm not going to do this. Sorry, spam calls. But when we get to that space of the ability to understand what it's trying to tell us, then we avoid those delays a little more and we can show up a little better. Sorry, the calls drive me crazy, but they haven't been as bad as lately. But all right, can I have a work your light oracle? Something to help focus on how we move out of fear and into courage, to get curious. The Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. I love this one. 86. Also, angel number 86 could be very, have another extra message for you. I live my life by angel numbers and really interested in numerology. And eventually, when I get to a space, I would like to actually learn it and become a master of it. But I want to learn so many things. I'm starting on that 20 minutes a day, too. Every day doing something for 20 minutes so we can perfect it. It's becoming fun and interesting, and now I'm excited about the couple different things that I'm taking on. So mystics and sages throughout the ages have predicted this period in history, and you decided to incarnate in the middle of it. There's no mistake that you are supposed to be here at this time of great change. If you ever feel unprepared or daunted by the path that's calling you, know this. You've been training for this for lifetimes. You're way more than the days that have breathed through you in this life. You're also all of the lifetimes that came before. All of these experiences have polished your soul into the most magnificent expression that is your authentic self. Your soul has many facets. Imagine a fingerprint. Your soul is 1,000,000 times more intricate than that. If you put together all of the fingerprints, all of the people you have been, you would not even get close to fathoming how much of a unique masterpiece you are. You came in with a clear soul plan. You came in with wisdom beyond your years. This is the part of you that longs to be seen. This is the part of you that is ready to step forward, that is ready to emerge. This is not the lifetime to stay hidden, but to step forth, be seen, and rise. Welcome, Johnny Wick. So I call forth the soul gifts and soul training that I have received throughout all of my lifetimes. I am ready to embody them all now, without hesitation and without fear. I have been training for this for lifetimes. That's an affirmation. Say it to yourself. I've been training for this for lifetimes. When that fear creeps over, you're just going to tell yourself, I've been training for this for lifetimes. This is something I'm meant to do, and I'm going to do it. Fear has no chance to live here, and that's it. Once you get to that place where you understand what it is and where it's coming from, it's a lot easier to say, you got to go. You ain't got time for that. I don't have the energy for that, and you are not going to rob me of my dreams. So there's a space, and there comes a place, and that's when you take that fear, and that's when you actually have the ability to transmute it into courage. And courage is one of the most amazing things that we can come through. That's too many. Just give me one. I'll take two, but one or two, that's it. You're not for everyone. Yeah, no shit. Oh, yeah. I like this one. This is something we definitely need to understand, but I'm going to read it to you. Angel number 132. Also, look that up. Welcome, Jerome. That may have an extra message in there for you. Okay, sit down. I'm almost done. You're doing really, really well. All right. Embrace your weirdness and face your true north. This is one of my favorite cards. The world is filled with people who, no matter what you do, just won't like you. But this is also filled with those who love you fiercely. They are your people. You're not for everyone, and that's okay. Talk to the people who can hear you. Don't waste your precious time and gifts trying to convince others of your value. They won't ever want what you're selling. Don't try to convince them to walk alongside you. You'll be wasting both your time and theirs, and will likely inflict unnecessary wounds that will take precious time to heal. Welcome, Audrey. You're not for them, and they're not for you. Politely wave them on and continue on your way. Sharing your path with someone is a sacred gift. Don't cheapen it by rolling yours in the wrong direction. Keep facing your true north. Pulling this card means you're being called to embrace your... Miss Grace. Enough. Pulling this card means you're being called to embrace your uniqueness, to own your weirdness. Let this world see who you really are, to reveal your multifaceted, multidimensional nature, not to dim your light according to who is in your presence, to own all parts of yourself so that your people, the ones who are the same kind of weird as you, can recognize you when you cross paths. Amen. How can you embrace your weirdness and not care so much what other people think? Is my boyfriend... Oh, honey, first of all, there's so many levels to not okay that I'm not even going to get into with that. If you have to ask if your boyfriend is in a relationship with somebody else, then your communication is out the window, and you might as well be in a relationship with someone else. 11:22 on the clock. Second, your boyfriend's not here to ask me to get into his energy. And one thing I'll tell you 1,000%, the universe does not like when you butt into other people's energies. And anyone that would be willing to actually ask that and look into it and talk to them, then you need to question their moral ethics. Because if you ask me to do a reading for you, and I was to do a reading for you, and someone else is in your energy messing with you, then they get what they get because I've made the contract with you. So if they show up in your energy, I'm not going to be able to tell you who they are, but I'm going to be able to tell you what they're doing, who they are, that kind of thing, not their actual name or whatever, and you would know who that is, not me. Thank you, Grace. But to pull back the curtains and peek in somebody else's window, your neighbor's window, somebody else, it doesn't matter who it is not allowed. Just like you wouldn't go peek in someone's curtains, I won't do that in someone's energy. It's a no-no. It's not okay. And that gets you karma. We don't play with other people's energies. And anyone that would, you need to question their ethics and maybe not trust their judgment. If you want to know, ask. And if he's making you feel that way and making you question that, then you need to decide what your morals are and what you're willing to put up with. Period. If you're willing to put up with it, it's going to keep going until you get fed up, because it just means they're not meant for you. So if you can't have those conversations with them, then move on. If you can have those conversations, have them. And if he's not willing to help empower you and help make you feel safe in that relationship, then it's not the one for you. Welcome, Sherry. Sorry, I have my line in the sand, and the one thing I will not do is mess with somebody else's energy. If somebody asks me something for their own self, I'll do my best to help them. But when it involves playing with someone else's energy, that's a no-go. I wouldn't want it done to me, so I refuse to do it to somebody else. Alright, so can I have Moonology Oracle? Give me one card to help us move forward. And Miss Grace. Dude, you're gonna lose your treats today. You're running out of time, and I'm running out of patience. So you will end up in the corner. We're not doing it. This is my work, right? This is my work. I'm almost done. When I'm done, then what happens? You don't even know. So if you don't even know, why are you rushing? Exactly. So stop. Fun times. It's Remembrance Day, and they made it a holiday, and they don't go to school anymore. You are good enough. I knew that one was going to come out. Give me one more. Miss Grace. 3. Okay. 4. And I'm going to take off 4. I'm not going to read them all, but Full moon Virgo. Let's understand at the very base of anything. Welcome, Sparkling Moss. Welcome. Inherently, you're good enough. Inherently. You just show up every day. The moment you wake up, the fact that you're breathing means you're good enough. When you can understand from that space, doesn't matter what. When you step... Miss Grace! Pick it up now. Next one is your room. You're pushing the luck today, and you know what's going to happen? You're not going to go to the park, and we're not going to do any of the things we're supposed to do. This is the last warning. Do you understand me? PD days are not good for days of content, but it is what it is. We work around it, and we work together. Understand that you're good enough, no matter what. Okay, and then your commitment is obviously going to always be tested. So when you're feeling that moment of fear, is something trying to hold you back, trying to protect you? Start asking the questions. Say, what is it that's trying to hold me back? What is it that's trying to protect me? And then when you find out the answer, you're going to say, nope. You're going to literally speak to yourself. Talk to yourself and say, no, thank you for trying to protect me. And when I was a kid, that was very helpful. But now I am the adult that I needed me to be. And I know how to show up for myself and show up for you. We are safe and we are okay. And literally speak it out into the universe. Speak it to your little you. Your youngest self. Your inner child. Speak that to you. Okay? Say it out loud. Say it proud. Say it with your whole chest out. That way when fear comes calling, you're going to step out. You're going to understand that even if adjustments are required, no matter what happens along the way, no matter what, I understand that I'm going to learn it. I'm going to understand it. I'm going to figure out what it is. And then I'm going to believe in the impossible. And I'm going to step out knowing fearlessly. I'm going to step out with confidence. And I'm going to do whatever it takes. And when you can do that whole little transition, and you learn to do it. By the way, the more you practice it, the faster it comes, right? It just, you get better and better and better at it. The more you do that and the faster you can do that, the easier it is to overcome fear and transmute it into that space of courage. Miss Grace! Why? Go sit down. Last warning. 1. Do I have to put you in the corner? Then stop. Ooh, she wants boundaries today. We're working with boundaries, and I guess that's what's happening. We're learning, because she's going to learn. You don't want to sit in that timeout. You don't want to lose the cartoon. You don't want to lose the park today, do you? Then you need to stop. Yes, but you need to stop. Sit down nicely. Sit back. Watch your show. I'm almost done. I have like 5 minutes left. Do you understand? The more you keep making me stop and having to check you and having to say, nope, that's not okay, the longer it drags out. And then you miss your time at the park. Do you understand? Okay, Spirit. Can I have an angel number? Holy hell, sometimes, some days. Can I have an angel number to help them see, oh, I don't need to be scared. There's nothing to be scared of. My angels have my back. How... I literally knew it was going to come out. I can't. 111. Like, this one... 1111. I saw that one too. I always see that one. 1111 was on here too. New beginnings. Just understand that you can follow your intuition. Listen to that inner voice. Not the brain voice that says, I need to be scared, I need to be hindered, I need to be all that. This is your intuition. Listen to that whisper, that little thing that just comes in and like in a flash it's gone, and then we start overthinking and screw it up. Use your intuition. Insight, serenity, harmony, clarity, joy, momentum, self-awareness, initiative, unconditional love. Now is the time to realize your long-held ideas. You're on the right path to turning your dreams into a reality. The right people, circumstances, and resources are coming together to support you. Happiness and new opportunities are within reach. Trust the journey and have faith in the process. 111. When you start seeing that everywhere, which you're gonna, that's a reminder. Just literally to think to yourself, is this a situation where I'm allowing fear to control what I'm doing? 11:31 on the clock. Is this a situation where my mind's telling me something I should be fearful of that I don't need to be? That's what you really need to ask yourself, because when you get to that space, you really can understand, no, I'm going to follow my gut, and my gut says I can do this, and my gut says I'm worthy, and my gut says I'm going to be amazing. I am amazing. I'm inherently worthy, and every step I take is a learning experience. And when you can get to that space, man, find the silver lining in everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, and I talk about that all the time. The good, the bad, the ugly is the actual, it's the actual transformation of transmutation, right? You know, once you understand the bad and the ugly, the only thing you can do is turn that into good. It just inherently happens. Welcome, Rhonda. Okay, can I have a couple? That was quick. Yeah, I like that one. Give me a couple more. You know I love.
Can I cat okay?
Grace. Yes. Okay, one more. Sorry, Miss Grace is. I said one more. Alright, I'll take. Alright. I like affirmations. They're saying, so this is the biggest, most things. No matter what, when fear comes, affirmations are going to be your best friend. Welcome back, Tarla. Affirmations, affirmations, affirmations. No matter what it is, speak it. Speak it to yourself. Look yourself in the mirror. It's the best way to do it. But if you can't, just speak it out. Let your own nervous system, let your own brain, your own ears hear your voice speaking these words. Let the universe hear you speaking these words. I am in sync with the flow of life. You're not going to let fear hold you back. You're going to follow what flows. You're going to do what works. Okay, and that's all you're going to do. No expectation, no nothing. You're just going to see where it takes you. I am in flow with the sync of life. I'm in sync with the flow of life. Either way, it's still the same thing. So the idea is to get it out, get it, say it, especially in times of confusion or chaos. And then we have, I breathe calmly and easily. I am safe in this moment. This is going to be a huge one when that fear creeps up, especially when you're feeling your blood pressure go up, feeling like you can't really breathe, like the compression in your lungs. There's a lot of things that come along with it, and really all it is your nervous system becoming dysregulated. This affirmation will help you figure out. Welcome. So remember, I breathe calmly and easily. I am safe in this moment. This one is when you're trying to ground and you're taking that fear and you understand that you're getting curious and things start to creep up and you start feeling that, this is the one you're going to spit out. Say it, repeat it as many times as it takes. Because when you do that, you're absolutely winning, and you're double timing it. You're actively understanding that negative thought that's come to your brain. You're actively understanding, oh, whoa, I feel that. I understand. I need to stop that. And then you can turn it into the positive, right, with the affirmation. If you give me 1 minute, I can ask. You don't have to spam it. I'm right here. And if you let me finish these, I will ask for you. Will I get a teaching job? Where are you trying to teach? What do you teach? Give me a little information. I want to know. Then we have, I trust that my intuition is always leading me in the right direction. That is another thing. Follow your gut. When you learn to trust yourself and not step out for fear, your intuition is your greatest guide. It is always, has always, and will always be your greatest guide. Primary school? What's that? Like kindergarten, grade 1? Is that what that means? So remember, I trust that my intuition is always leading me in the right direction. And then we have, I don't know what primary teacher is. Is that what it is? Primary school? I see grace and possibility in all of life's challenges.
You don't want me.
Why are you saying those things? That's not nice.
I'm your baby.
You are my baby, but you're not letting me finish my work. And what you're doing right now is not the way that you're going to get the things you want. And you know that. Was that Hales? Welcome back. That's okay. Mine's trying not to die. I'm getting off here soon in a minute. Fikal, is that how you say your name? And also, you gotta answer me. Is that a primary teacher? Is that a, what am I trying to ask? Like public school teacher, right? Like kindergarten, grade 1. Give me a minute and I'll pull my tarot because we're not pulling anyone else's energy. And then we have, I send a prayer of love to all beings in need of a miracle. This is one of the greatest affirmations because you're not only speaking it to yourself, you're speaking it out, and you're asking for grace for other people in need of a miracle. When you do that, because you're not asking out of expectation, you're asking for genuine love, unconditional. You're not asking for something back for yourself. You're asking for sending love to someone in need of a miracle. I believe that the universe picks these up first. And they take these prayers and they take the things that needed and they send them to exactly those people that they need to save. And we may never see it and we may never know. But that little prayer that we sent out, we sent it with no expectation and no tie. It's going to always get sent and be used exactly where it's needed most. And I think that's a pretty neat way to look at it. So, all right. Welcome, Head Enough. When do you want to know? In 2026? Will it be your first job? Is that what you're going to school for? I got maybe sideways. And the Emperor. So, stability, structure, protection, authority, control. Maybe. That could be. Did you already apply? Or is that what you're trying to do? Like, I have a couple other questions. Because we can ask, but it's really going to depend on what I can always ask, but it's going to depend on what you're doing to work on the situation. Are you applying? Did you apply somewhere specific? Are you just wanting to do that in your job? Like, there's so many things. Because it said maybe, and the maybe was sideways. So, I don't usually pull a lot of things for that, and I don't ask, because really we are co-creators in our own universe. I can ask, but Spirit usually confirms with me, and when they confirm with me, it's a completely different thing. Nope, I'm not done. I don't care. You have a limit, and we have a boundary, right? You've crossed it 3 different times. The next one is going to be in the corner. That's it. Okay, sorry, we're doing boundary lessons too with our children, which is so much fun. The reason I ask those things is because when Spirit confirms for me, it's going to be themes. When I talk about things, I'm trying to teach people how to transmute. I'm trying to teach people how to use their own knowledge and co-create. I don't want to teach you how to I don't want to give you a fish. I want to teach you to fish, basically. And I had to learn the hard way, and I had to learn with no help. So I'm trying to make it a little bit easier. But again, if you've applied for places for teaching jobs, and if you're going in with integrity, and that's really what you're trying to do, is do things with integrity, then the universe will find a way for you. If that's what you want, the universe will find a way. Welcome, Harpreet. But you need to understand that if you're going in with bad intentions and you're trying to do bad things or cruel things, I promise you, the universe, they will block you every step of the way. So, the first thing always think is your intentions. What are your intentions? Are you going in with nothing but good intentions, love, compassion for the children, and wanting to help them in mind? If so, and you're applying and you've done the things you have to learn, right? Because there's certain education. You haven't given me any of that information, so I don't know what you actually have in any of those things. But if you're doing the steps to get there and you're doing it with integrity and you're showing up, the universe will make a way for you. Absolutely, because there's nothing more in this world that they need than really good people in good positions that can help children, can help families, can help do all those things. So if your intention is right, I can guarantee you're going to get there. And if something's blocking you along the way, that's when you need to start asking, what am I doing wrong? What is my thought process? Am I missing a step? And literally get curious and ask. But it said maybe, and it said emperor, so if you step up and you do the right things and you're doing it with integrity, it's very possible. But it's up to you. You co-create with the universe. So you need to have those conversations and you need to trust your instinct. It's not really more I can say about that. It's just like everything that I'm doing here. I've put in the lessons. I've learned the hard way time and time again. But in that learning, there's so much to learn. And the reason that I learned the way I learned is so that I can share that information, right? We can't expect the universe to do everything while we do nothing. If we're not co-creating and being intentional with the things we're doing, and when we learn something new, if we're not showing up every day, trying to put that into use so that we can move forward, then we're not doing everything on our end. And we're always going to be blocked and blocked and blocked until we continuously find that new way to step forward, right? So when you look at it from that perspective and you say, okay, have I done everything I can possibly do? Hi, Amanda. Welcome. Hi, Odie. When you get to that space, then you're allowed to, then you know, literally can look at yourself in the mirror. I showed up today. I showed up doing everything I possibly can, and I did it to my very best. It doesn't have to be perfect. You did it to the best that you could. Did I learn something new today? Yes. Okay, how can I put that to use tomorrow when I show up, right? It's not about being perfect. It's about doing it messy, showing up, and every single day giving it a try. How is it going? Odie, I don't know if I said it already, but welcome. Sorry, I'm not trying to ignore everybody. Once I get talking in my messages, sometimes it's hard to stop and I get sidetracked. All right, I like this one. Creativity flows through me. I am a divine creator. And when you understand that and understand that everything that you learn and everything that's given to you is from the universe, and how you can transition that and turn that into something that you can share with others and help others in that situation, is where you understand there's billions of us on the planet, and how do we all have a story, and we all are so much more similar than we could ever even begin to imagine. And when we come from that perspective, instead of we're different, we don't align, doesn't matter. We don't have to align to still be not the same. We all bleed the same. We all, just want to love and be loved. We all just want to live in peace and learn and grow and just be ourselves. Like, that is just like the very core basic need of a human being, right? So now we're going to say, I am ready to go big, rise up, and step into my power. Once you realize what it is you want to do and you confirm it, you can speak it into the universe. Oh, I love you, baby. Hold on one sec. And then you say, I communicate with ease and grace. People are willing to hear what I have to say. Speak it into the universe. Speak your greatness. 11:44 on the clock. This one went long today because my daughter was being a little fuss bucket, but she just needed some love. Come here. You can say hi quickly. You can say hi with my messy ass hair. Say it's my day off school.
It's my day off school.
So I've been harassing my mama. Can you say Happy Remembrance Day?
Happy Remembrance Day.
No, stop looking at the TV. You wanted to come in here. Pay attention to your people. Happy Remembrance Day. Okay, I love you. Go sit down. I'm getting off here. Okay, well, you gotta let me say goodbye, and then I'm gonna get off, and we're gonna go do stuff. Amanda, did you see her? Did you see how big she is? I don't know. Amanda might have left. Oh, I think she left. Oh, well, she got to say hi to everyone else. Oh, you did? Okay. That's why I wanted her to come out and say hi, but She's been harassing me half this thing. I ended up being on here probably almost an hour later because she kept coming in. But she just needs attention, and it is what it is. Once you get used to doing lives with your kid interrupting you as much as possible, you get really good at it. You just got to kind of move on. But I think I'm done for the day. We're just talking about the healing and showing up when fear and understanding what it's trying to teach. But if you missed the live and you really want to go check out the replay, I always post it on my YouTube at Creativity Guides Me. Any of my lives, my action steps, any of that stuff, Miss Grace gets posted on on Creativity Guides Me. You see this child? She just needs some mama love. So I'm going to get off here, but give it about an hour. I can't answer you and talk at the same time, Grace. So you got to just be patient. Okay? Yeah, you just want to say bye again? Okay, say bye to Amanda. Well, you have to brush your hair and put your hair up first. Okay, what do you say? Say hi, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
Okay, get down.
Bye, Amanda.
Yeah, well, we're going to put your hair. What? I'm going to brush your hair. We got to put it up.
Can you say the what's after bedtime?
Yes, but do you want to go to the park? She likes the camera. She's such a little ham. Get lost. No.
Can I go back before we go to the park?
No, you don't have a bath. You have a bath after the park. Okay, sorry. Is that Alicia? Hi. Oh, come here.
You can work my
Okay, Alicia wants to say hi. Say hi, Alicia.
I think we should say good morning.
You said good morning to Alicia? Okay.
I want to say good morning to her again.
She's right there.
Hi, Alicia. Good morning, Alicia.
And Amanda. I think Amanda's here too, yeah.
Good morning,
I cannot post this. She said good morning, sweetie. She's so wild. She's cute though, eh? She drives me crazy, but she's freaking cute. Oh my God, I don't even know how you do it, Alicia. I don't even know. Welcome, Candace. That's a lot. There's a lot of babies. You're like mom of the year. It's amazing.
Mommy,
you do it really well
are
too.
you going to be done?
Yes, I'm going to be done. She's telling me to get the hell off of here. She wants me to stop playing around on here. So I have to get off. But if you want to watch the replays, I always post them on my YouTube at Creativity Guides Me. And usually within the hour, I get it posted back up. My next one coming out, you'll see it start coming tomorrow, and then every 3 days there'll be a new one. So this is the kindness that breaks you open. I know it's kind of backwards on my thing, but this talks about once we get past that fear and we understand. I'll explain it very quickly, but basically through my life I've been through so much trauma and triggers and all of those things that I can say it just factually, like it is what it is. And people used to always look at me like I was crazy, but when you get to a certain point of so much trauma and so much triggers and so much all that stuff, you just say it matter-of-factly. It just is what it is. And then when no, you got to be patient, please. And then when you speak about your kindness, doing things for somebody else, you do that because that's what you naturally do, right? You just do it, and you don't get emotional. But I still, Portia, welcome. Still to this day, when I talk about the kindnesses that have happened for me, the people that have showed up for me, I get very emotional. Like, I mean emotional to the point of I get choked up. I can barely talk about it. And the reason is because when you're so kind to other people and you're just used to a lifetime of trauma, that little bit of kindness that you haven't received, you should have received your whole life, but you didn't, that kindness can just crack you open in a kind of way, and it's good. It's a good thing. It makes you believe, and it gives you that fighting chance as you go. But I'm talking, Grace. You have to stop, and you have to give me my moment. You're pushing it too far. I'm gonna hug you in a minute. what I need you to understand is that kindness, when it breaks you open, it allows your hearts, because you've been fighting through this, trying to love yourself and trying to be loved and trying to learn and trying to understand the fear and the rage and the anger, because it's all you know. You only know the kindness that you give, but you have never even received that back. You don't understand that. So when you get to that space that you can't even fathom someone being kind to you, and then you get a one or two kindnesses here, those kindnesses are enough to break you open and understand that it's safe. That's the thing that you should have had your whole life, and unfortunately you didn't get that. But it makes you understand and know that it is real, and that what you're wanting and that you're lacking isn't by choice. It's because you haven't had that. But now you can hold your ground higher and understand that. It's a whole process, and we'll dig deeper into that on in 3 days. So what's today? Sorry, today's the 11th, so it'll be on the 14th. We'll have the live for that one, and we're going to talk about that one. Hopefully I don't be a blubbering mess, but it's really true, and it's one of those things, once it cracks you open, there's no going back. It reminds you what you were missing. It reminds you what you so desperately needed, and then it also shows you how easy it is to give that to yourself and give it to others. So I think that's going to be a really good one. We're learning transmutation here, one baby step at a time. So if you missed it and you want to check it out, please go check it out at Creativity Guides Me on YouTube. And every 3 days I'll be here live to talk about this content for the rest of November. And then December is, that content is Grace in the Grind, and that's just finding that grind every day, learning to understand that still point, understand that you don't have to be on all the time. It's a whole bunch of great things coming, and I worked really hard to understand it. I'm still always understanding it, but I'm at a space where I can talk about it because I've gone through it over and over enough, confidently enough to say, this is how I overcame it, and I know we don't all have the be-all, end-all answer for everything, but along the way, I have found tips and tricks and things that make that process a little easier, so you don't have to go here, there, back, forward, 10 steps, all over the place, and then try to figure out how the fuck that happened. And that's, I went through my journals, I had to dig up all these things, and I literally took all the pieces and put them together. So if you want to check that out, yeah, apparently I was meant to talk about that too. You can go to my website at creativilyguided.ca, and that's where I have my guided journals. I have my handmade teas to help us be present and heal in the moment. Brandon, welcome. So any and all of those things, go check them out. Keep your eye out for the kindness that breaks you open, and keep your eye out on my YouTube. I'll have this posted up probably within an hour or so if you want to go and watch the replay. All right, I love you guys. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.